Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome back. It's always lovely to connect with you. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are feeling grounded, but at the same time, feeling lifted within your soul. And let's really take a deep dive into our topic for today. And the topic for today is dealing with borderline personalities, individuals who are managing or not managing borderline personality issues. I was inspired to create this message because of a correspondence I had. This book came from a mom who's just desperately struggling with her child, adult child, 26 years old now, borderline personality, manipulative, just all manner of issues. And she's at her wit's end, and we really get into a heart-to-heart conversation about some strategies and what she could do. So I wanted to share a couple things with you. Now, I want to share a bit of a checklist. It'll give you an idea of what is going on internally with someone suffering or managing borderline personality. So number one, having an unstable or dysfunctional self-image, many distortions about one's self. So there's a constant shifting view of how they feel about themselves. One day it could be, I feel I'm fantastic, I'm a lovely person, I'm awesome. And then it can dramatically change to self-loathing, revolving feelings of isolation, boredom, emptiness, difficulty truly empathizing with others and putting oneself in their shoes. Tall tale sign of borderline personality. This is a key element. A history of unstable, broken relationships. The relationships can move from very intense love and idealization to hate. This pendulum generally doesn't stop in the middle, folks. It swings, and it swings wide. Persistent, pervasive fear of abandonment, rejection. Extreme emotional reactions to perceived abandonment or real abandonment. Highly changeable moods. You just can't get a handle on the moods. It can last for a couple days. It can last for months on end. Anxiety, worry, depression are features of this personality issue. Hostility and very impulsive behaviors. And number one, when you hear the word borderline personality, the key is in the word border. They breach borders and boundaries. There's constant breach of just very natural, what most of us would classify as common sense borders and boundaries. They will breach them very quickly without thought. Now, let me give you an example. I've had many encounters in over 20 years with borderline personalities. And I want to go back. I want to put a little disclaimer here. One of the things that personally I love about this channel, The Lift, is you can listen anywhere in the world from the privacy of your car, your home, your boat, your backyard. There is no one judging you. This is a unique channel because it is a safe space to reflect on self and heal. The primary purpose of the program is elevation and healing. That's it. I have a very narrow focus. And as I've said many times before, the right people of an elevated mindset will find this channel. Don't focus on the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. You have channels out here. They're dedicated, gossip channels, different shenanigans. I don't get involved in it. This is heart to heart, soul to soul. I don't need any shenanigans. I don't need any rogue content. I don't need to comment on anyone's life. It's a singular focus to elevate and to heal. And let's all have happy lives. So if something I say, if it resonates personally and sounds like a challenge you may be dealing with, this is a perfect opportunity to listen, absorb, heal in a non-judgmental, safe space. I don't judge. I've said it many times. Lord only knows. Lord can only know my struggles, trials, and tribulations. So I come because I understand the rejuvenation and the freedom that comes from living lifted. This work is done on your behalf, and it's all for the glorification of God. I make no bones about it. I want everyone lifted. Summer's going to be around the corner shortly. Let's all get some ice cream together. I just got turned on to a lemon flavor. It's delicious. Get ready for some barbecues. Go to the beach. That's what I'm trying to get everyone to this point, okay? That we're all enjoying life. So back to the examples of this borderline behavior. I had a grown man, and I do consider 38 years old a grown man, in session break down and cry because he was trying to break up with this woman. He was trying to break up with her, and she wouldn't allow it. And I would have thought he was being dramatic had this woman not shown up. And I promise you, this woman showed up at my office 3 weeks prior, unannounced. She had followed him. I don't know where she got this information. She had followed him. He was supposed to be having sessions privately, was afraid she would find out. However, she found out, she did show up. What a violation, a boundary violation. I couldn't believe it. I'd never had a therapy session crashed before. But this is the type of behavior. All you need to go back to is the word borderline. Boundaries and borders are breached constantly. It was very difficult for him to unravel because the borderline personality is an intensity to it. And you will feel the intensity. And for some people, it will scare them. The intensity will feel like fear for most people. Listen to your gut because you're dealing with extremes. I'm not saying that people who have borderline, I'm not saying that they're evil or malicious. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's an intensity that can be frightening to individuals who are walking in balance. And if you're listening to it and say, Sheila, I've had some issues in this area, then you have to be aware that that intensity can frighten people. This is why many folks struggling with borderline personality have many broken relationships because people don't know how to manage that energy. So they get nervous and leave. Another example, I had a man who aggressively started to pursue a woman. This was a friendly group of colleagues going out for lunch. He took it to the nth degree, assumed in his mind that the woman was very attracted to him and started to pursue her aggressively. She had done nothing other than just be friendly. She picked up a tab and was off to the races. It was very difficult for her to navigate this because she was literally asking the question, did I flirt? Did I do something to get him triggered or interested in me to this level? She hadn't done anything. And that's the danger. You will start to think that you've done something wrong. You second guess yourself. The borderline personality will take you up into a swirl of a tornado. And if you don't know who you are, if you're not focused, you won't know if you're coming or going. Okay, another example. Woman knew a woman. She met her new neighbors, was very enamored with them. Oh, they're so super friendly. We're going to be great friends. I cannot tell you exactly what transpired. I don't want to get into all of that. But almost overnight, she just moved into this mode. It was almost hate. It's almost hate. And that situation escalated. And so I want to explain to you what is the end game, what is the borderline personality seeking? Because many people say, Sheila, I can't do anything right. Let me explain what's happening. I'm going to explain it from a spiritual perspective and a practical perspective. The borderline personality is looking for resources, people outside of him or herself to fill a massive void. But Sheila, what is the void? The void could have originated from various things. A lot of borderlines I've worked with have suffered severe neglect growing up. There can be other circumstances, but they're looking to fill a void, and they will tell themselves emotionally, intellectually, I want love. I want to be accepted. But when they get the love and acceptance, they flip it and blow it up. So there's a lot of reactive attachment. Testing boundaries and borders. How far can I push you? Are you going to stay? Are you going to go? Well, I'm going to go before you go. A lot of game playing. But let me tell you, the only thing that will fill that void, and I've worked with many borderline personalities, and many have pushed it away and don't want to hear it. It's personal responsibility, accepting personal responsibility for your disposition, for your emotional wiring, accepting personal responsibility and adhering to a strict, even rigid internal guidelines to keep yourself on the straight and narrow. And so many don't want to do that, but that is what will fill the void, personal responsibility. Now, we've all had issues. Things can occur. Things can happen. But I'm not dealing down that path. It's personal responsibility. Whatever occurred growing up, however you've been hurt along the way, it's happened to us all. It's happened to us all. Whatever life heaps on your plate, it's your responsibility to clear that plate, to wash those dishes, put it in the dishwasher, put things away nice, neat, and tidy. It's no one else's responsibility to do that for us. So I want to give you some tips on dealing with the borderline personality. Number one, I want you to get comfortable with saying no, and please expect a backlash. You will be manipulated by guilt, any other which way too. And oftentimes kind people, the borderlines, come in and they have their way with you because you don't realize what's going on. But this video, this message today will help. Number two, do not join the reality with them, no matter how hard they try to pull you into it. Because if you join a sub-reality, then who's going to get you out? Who's going to get you out of the nightmare? Who's going to get you out of the twilight zone if you're twirling around in that constellation? You have to stay outside, feet on the ground, know what's happening and what's going on. And then lastly, if someone who refuses to accept responsibility for their borderline personality, if they need to leave, let them go. That's why you see there's a sea of broken relationships because people get frustrated, tired, fatigued. Now, what I'm going to say may sound controversial, may surprise a lot of people. There are times, do I believe in healing, redemption, love, warmth? Yes. Yes, I do. That's what I've based my work on. Yes, I do. And I do believe that people can change. Absolutely. But oftentimes people do need to take that solo walk in the desert. You wander around the desert long enough without food, drink, scenery. Something's going to hit you. Wait a minute, something's wrong here. That's what I call hitting a smart rock. And oftentimes a person may choose these beautiful people come into your life, opportunities, and you're blowing it out left and right. Sometimes you need to walk in the desert without a cool beverage. And then you see the Coca-Cola in the distance. It starts to look good. This Coca-Cola tastes good with some ice. I've got some mint julep tea, yummy. Fruit punch. I like the way this tastes. I'm going to straighten up because I don't want to go back into that emotional desert. Everyone has an opportunity, a choice, a change. I'm not fond of labels because some people, people will hear it and they start living out their label. Anyone can change. If you acknowledge, okay, borderline personality, I've seen people change. What borderline? The only borderline I'm crossing over into Cancun. I'm crossing the border over into Jamaica for vacation. That's the only borderlines I'm talking about. People do heal. Everyone can. It's taking the responsibility. Is it a heavy lift? It sure can be. But on the other side of it, it's party time. It's party time, folks. That's what I'm trying to get everyone to. Party time. Party time. So I'm thanking you for listening and tuning in. This has been Inspirational Shorts with Sheila. I'll connect with you soon.